I'm going to do a video today on jealousy, envy versus anger or rage. The Bible talks about jealousy and it talks about anger, and it puts one on one side, the other on the other. I'm going to explain it through the Bible verses, then I'm going to kind of expound on it and explain in layman's terms how it affects us. This video is also for everybody, Christian, non-Christian alike. Proverbs 6:34 says, "For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance." Jealousy is the rage of a man. Okay? This is Proverbs 27:4. "Wrath is cruel, and anger is outrageous. But who is able to stand before envy?" Envy or jealousy. Basic same thing. Okay, this is a Song of Solomon 8:6. "Set me as a seal upon thine heart, as a seal upon thine arm. For love is strong as death, jealousy is cruel as the grave." Those are just some Bible verses. I know David in the Psalms compared some of the jealousy of his opponents against him as just being something he could not bear to take because of how cruel it was, as opposed to anger. Okay, I'm going to just explain this real quickly. Jealousy doesn't have to do with the other person. It has to do with you. That's one of the reasons it's so dangerous. If you're angry at someone, there's usually a reason. They've either wronged you, or they're doing something that they know bothers you, or they're doing something and there's an accountability there where you're saying, "Hey, you're doing this and you're angering me." But it's someone's actions towards you that is usually creating the anger inside of you. You usually just don't get angry for no reason. There's got to be a reason. And there's a justification. And it's important you understand that, because that's the basis. It's a basis for anger. There's a justification within that anger saying, well, I wouldn't be angry had they not done this. Or if they weren't actively doing this, I wouldn't be angry. Or if they weren't trying to do this, I wouldn't be angry. So it doesn't go this way. It doesn't go inward. It only goes outward. It's saying they are doing something to me, and it's affecting me, and now I'm projecting it back. So it's like a complete justification. It's almost like a boomerang. It's like, well, if they didn't throw the boomerang, it wouldn't have come back. They did it to themselves. So it's important to understand that within anger and frustration and wrath, all that kind of stuff, there's a certain justification. And within justification, there's freedom and security. In other words, you know you're justified, and because you know you're justified, you have peace. You're angry as you can get, but you have peace because you know you're right. So you have to understand to that end. You have to understand that when people are angry, they're usually fully justified. Now let's get to jealousy. Jealousy is the opposite. A lot of the people that we are jealous over, we don't even know them and they don't know us. They're basketball players on TV, or they're someone who's successful, or someone who's good looking, or someone has a lot going for them, and we're jealous because it's like, hey, even the Bible says do not covet your neighbor's wife or any of his possessions. So there's a jealousy there. And we may not even know the person, and they may not even know us. But guess what? We're jealous. You want to know why? It has nothing to do with them. It has to do with our own insecurity. It has to do with our own selfishness. It has to do with our own bondages. You understand? And it's so important you understand that, because guess what? Within that, there is zero justification. In other words, people who are jealous of others know they have no reason to be jealous over others. Those people didn't wrong you. Those people didn't do anything bad against you. Those people didn't pick a fight with you. Those people didn't have any intention towards you that was evil. But yet you're jealous because you're completely incomplete in yourself, and you know it, and you're pissed off about it, and you don't like it, and now you're going to do whatever you feel like you got to do. You're going to have any emotion you want to have. You're going to say anything you want to say. You're going to be anything you want to be. That's why it's so dangerous, because there's no cause. There's no cause. Even King David said to his brother when Goliath was coming to do, Goliath was fighting Israel, and David's brother got jealous of David because David showed up and he said, you know, who's this Philistine? And David's brother got envious, and he's like, hey, who are you? You're a dude who takes care of the sheep. Why don't you go do this? And you know what David said to his brother? He said, is there not a cause? Is there not a cause? I mean, am I not standing up for God for the right reasons? Is there not a big Philistine blaspheming God and blaspheming Israel? So anger has a certain cause to it. There's a reason for it. Okay? And there's some justification there. But with jealousy, there's no justification. It all has to do with an incompleteness in yourself. And it is so critical that you understand that, because that's why jealousy is so insecure. That's why jealousy is so unstable. It is so unstable. So many people make horrible, horrible, horrible mistakes, and then they basically, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Because their jealousy just erupted. It was a type of, like when you mix two chemicals that are unstable and they blow up, that's what it's like. Anger is a lot more stable than jealousy. It's more stable. The person's secure. The person knows they have a right. The person knows they're justified. The person knows they've been wronged. The person knows there's a cause, and so they're angry. Okay, I had to pause the video because my cat wants a lot of attention, especially when I do these videos. Basically, at the end of the day, envy is inward. It's all going this way, whereas anger is the opposite. It's all going that way, and the person's justified because there's a cause, there's a reason. And it's very essential that you understand that. Jealousy is worse and more cruel than anger because it has nothing to do with any kind of security or justification. It has to do with an insecure self. And whenever you're dealing with that type of emotion in a person, you're never going to get anything real from the person. You're only going to get games. You're only going to get all types of contention. You're only going to get all types of nonsense from them. At least someone who's angry at you, maybe it could be worked out. There's people who they're angry and they work it out unto forgiveness. They talk it out and it's worked out unto forgiveness. But when someone's jealous of you, there's no working it out. Because they're not jealous of you. That's all in your head. Even though they are, they'll never admit it. They'll never deal honestly with it. That's why people that are jealous of you, they stab you in the back. Because they're so close to you, it's like they're not, are you kidding me? They're not jealous of you or angry at you or have anything against you. But then something horrible happens and it's like, wow, that was envy, man. That person was just playing a role. They were acting, okay? A lot like Judas. Okay, so basically, I'm telling you right now that envy is something that really cannot be dealt with. Every person has to work that out in themselves. I used to be envious of people and jealous of people, and when the Lord revealed all this to me years ago, I started doing the soul searching. I started doing the work that I had to do. And guess what? I don't feel like, look, I'm always able to sin and I'm always able to make mistakes. I'm not saying that. But there's strongholds, and then there are things that we see and we can identify quickly. And envy is one of those things that I identify very quickly and doesn't really have much of an impact on me because I know what it is, and I'm just not that person anymore. I don't allow myself to get envious over people. And I'm not going to get into it, but basically what you have to do is, that's work you have to do in yourself. And if you're dealing with people that are envious or jealous of you and all they're doing is playing games, don't try to minister to them and don't try to do anything. Just leave it alone, because envy has to be fixed by the person. They have to do it. You cannot sit down and, even if they're envious of you or not, you can't fix them. They have to get right in their own hearts and in their own heads. They have to decide to not be that person. But anger is a lot more natural. Anger is an emotion that will come out when someone feels like they're the victim. And that can be dealt with, even by the person that is angry at you or you're angry at. That can be dealt with. Not the same with envy, because the person's not going to admit to anything. They're not, because it's all about the insecure self. If you're secure, you're not jealous of people. You're not jealous of anybody if you're secure. If you're insecure, you're going to be horribly jealous of other people, and you're never going to admit it to yourself. So how are you going to talk with someone about it? Okay? So that's the rationale. That's the way things work. I'm sorry I had to cut this video off because of my cat, but I have to. I like to do these videos in one seamless process. It's more natural that way. I feel like that's the way it should be done, at least my videos. So I'm sorry I had to cut out, but my wife had to grab the cat, so I had to pause it. But that's all I wanted to say. I hope this video has blessed you.